Sebastian Loeb comes through a corner a bit too fast. Not flat out, just the wrong speed, car just understeers, no time to save, and straight on, bang. Dust everywhere, engine off, stage is finished. Marshals arrived, locals walk in the sleepers, everyone is staring at the wall. Someone asks, so whose house is it?
Hello guys, welcome, Merry Christmas. A big hello from the We Racing podcast this week. Again, me and Matt are going to sit down, talk about the weekly events of racing or not so racing in our very festive Christmas special edition. You can see I've gone for the Christmas jumper, Matt's gone for the Christmas hat.
Christmas tree in the background, sorry, this one.
Okay, yeah, you got the Christmas tree as well. Okay, you're one up on me on the Christmas tree, to be fair, so that's fair enough. Okay. And yeah, just to have a recap as always. Matt, how are you?
I'm very well. Christmas finally, so it's time for a good rest, good food. I actually been M&S yesterday and made shopping of like 3 or 4 different cakes. So, well, I'll come back probably a couple of kilos heavier after the Christmas break.
So, if you're a few seconds off the pace, we know exactly why.
That's why I got the sim racing rig as well. So the weight doesn't matter there.
What's your go-to cake?
Actually, a couple of years ago, Marks and Spencer made fantastic Yule log. The chocolate Yule log was amazing, but it was like 30 quid. But it was really, really nice. And since then we are looking for it and we couldn't find it. So we go for like small lemon tarts, some Christmas puddings, the small bitty stuff, but really, really tasty ones that we picked. Some like salted caramel cheesecakes, this kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm excited actually.
I'm a fan. I think I'm quite boring. My favorite, if my go-to cake has to be like a vanilla sponge.
Okay.
Something like that, Victoria sponge, that kind of stuff. And I do like a salted caramel with the filling.
Yeah.
In the middle. Yeah. And then you can't go wrong with like basic, just normal birthday cake.
Yes, I know. I love salted caramel sauce on the vanilla ice cream. That's the best.
Honestly, one of the best. Well, I think that Santa thinks We Racing has been good this year, because I think we've had a good year of gifts slash podiums. So that's always good. Obviously, we're in the spirit, Christmas time. So when you think about music, think about food, spending time with your family, having a good laugh. So talking about having a good laugh, we just want to talk about some funny F1 moments that we can remember. And just to see if we can make each other laugh, get some good Christmas vibes today. We should have got some mulled wine for this episode.
Don't remind me about the mulled wine, because a couple of weeks ago I hurt myself quite significantly with the mulled wine. So I'm with the Fanta today.
Okay, Fanta, soft drinks only. Yeah. Drink responsibly.
Exactly.
Yeah, go on, take it away. That funny story, you had one.
So yeah, it's not about Formula One, but it's from my. I would be controversial because I would say that's more superior racing, not racing, but motorsport series. I'm talking about rallying. I used to rally myself for a bit, and I absolutely loved it. The margins are much lower than in Formula One. So I have one story that I would like to share with you. I have some notes actually to make sure that I will not miss a bit. So
fantastic.
Listen to this. Before I start, do you know Sebastian Loeb, multiple world rally champion? Yeah. So that's the story about him. So listen to this. You are listening to the rally stage in France. It's a not highest level, but Sebastian Loeb was starting there, so it was already significant. Small village in France, houses right on the road, walls closer than track limits in Formula One. Sebastian Loeb comes through a corner a bit too fast. Not flat out, just the wrong speed, car just understeers, no time to save, and straight on, bang. Dust everywhere, engine off, stage is finished. Marshals arrived, locals walk in the sleepers, everyone is staring at the wall. Someone asks, so whose house is it? And it's an awkward silence. Another guy checks the door, looks at the name on the mailbox, look at the back of the car, then he says, well, this is going to be an interesting dinner tonight, because it was the Loeb's family house. not nearby, not similar, but it was actually his home that he crashed into. Same wall, same address, same parents waiting inside for him. So the rally was over for him. The car was broken. The wall was obviously broken as well. But the real damage, what he had, is explaining how you managed to crash into your own house during a rally.
That is amazing. Could you imagine coming out and hearing a bang, and you come out and it's your son's crashed this rally car into your wall?
I think my career would end now and then, especially if, for example, my parents were paying for it.
100%. That's hilarious. Could you? I couldn't imagine. I mean, what do you say? Hi, Mum, Dad. How was the race today? Yeah, about that. Yeah. We got some work to do.
Repairs to do. Yeah, I don't know how it ended. Was it himself of repairing it, or he hired this company who actually paid for the repairs? But I think that's the story, that you never know who you crash into, where you crash into, if you're doing this kind of sport. And probably when he was in the beginning of this stage, in his head, he obviously knew when the stage is going through the next to his house. He absolutely had in his head, I cannot crash into my house, but he actually did. I'm sure that was the case.
Has to be. I mean, the more you try not to do something, that's the more you end up doing it. So it makes perfect sense.
Well, so if we're using this logic, we have to tell our drivers not to try to win races next year.
That's it. Yeah. Don't win the race. Don't get the podiums. Yeah. Reverse psychology. It's all up here.
Yes, exactly.
No, very funny. I mean, I don't have a funny story as such, more as a funny moment. Going back to F1, I'm sure if you remember, I'm pretty sure my memory, I should have checked if my memory is going to fail me here. Spa, I don't know what year. I want to say, and was it Spa or was it Hungary? I want to say 2020. The flying robot man that crashed.
Oh, yeah. That was Austria 2021, I believe.
Wherever it was, it shouldn't have been. That's the bottom line. Yeah, I remember watching that on repeat for quite a while. I think I made a TikTok video about it because it just made me laugh.
I'm actually surprised that nothing happened, because remember, he had like jet engines attached to his legs and arms. He had jet fuel in his backpack, and he dropped up to at least 10 meters, maybe a bit more. And nothing happened. So yeah, I'm actually surprised that he came out with nothing. Basically, he just walked off of the track.
Just a bit of a bruised pride, a bit of embarrassment, probably.
Yeah, and the Oscar face after this.
He was watching it on the screen.
Yes.
Wasn't he?
Also, he wasn't 21. He probably was 22 or even 23. He was already in McLaren.
Yeah, I remember that because he was sipping on the bottle of water. Wasn't he?
I don't even know why they cut straight into him when he was on his own in the garage, just looking at the screen. What is he supposed to do?
They probably had a few options and thought, no. Okay, we'll go with this one. We need to cut to something. Anything right now. Yeah. Fair play.
That could have been the case.
We also spoke about the best race that we've seen. I'm actually intrigued on this one to see what your best race is. Is that going to be rally as well, or
no? That will be actually Formula One, and that's it has a couple of records. This race, one of the records is the longest ever Formula One race. I'm talking about Canada 2011, where Jenson Button came. He was last 2 or 3 times. He done the most amount of pit stops in this race, but he was still managed to win the race. Couple of laps before the checkered flag, he passed Sebastian Vettel. And I actually have to apologize to my mum from this end, because this race lasted 5 or 6 hours, something like that. And because it was Canada, in Poland the race started at like 7 p.m. And my mom was very mad at me and my dad that we were watching all night, all evening, and we finished like at 2 a.m. I think. And she was really mad that we're not letting her watch anything on a Sunday evening. So, ma'am, I'm really sorry about that. But, well, if you'd sit down, well, she's really good fan of Formula One right now. So, if she would sit down back with me back then and she would watch it, she would probably will be like me, sitting on the end of the sofa. Even the red flag lasted like 3 or 4 hours. But they were transmitting still with commentary and interviews with different people from Formula One. But it was definitely the best race I ever seen, and the best driver and the best driving from the Jenson Button that he probably ever done. Even though he even crashed with Lewis Hamilton, with his teammate back then, and he still came out as a winner. So he had a lot of luck, but also his skill and determination was absolutely fantastic. And that's why I put this race as my top list of the races ever.
It's hard to argue with that one, to be honest. Before you mentioned it, I was thinking, I wonder where you're going to go with this. And then when you mentioned that one, I was thinking, okay, because I remember seeing that and I think, it's hard to disagree. Mine is probably not overall the best race ever in terms of all 20 cars, 10 teams, eventful. I think there was a Monza in the wet in 19, maybe, which I think was a really good race. But I think the one that I have to go for isn't actually the Grand Prix, it's actually the sprint race.
Okay.
The 2021, Brazilian sprint race of Lewis starting at the back and finishing first. So I had to. He'd taken a new ICU, I believe. So he had a 5-place grid penalty for the race, and it was a DRS issue, I believe, that caused him to be
too wide. Yeah,
that was it. Obviously for his penalty for the sprint race, and just some of the driving, some of the overtakes were just unbelievable. So that has to be mine.
Well, Lewis is a honorary citizen of Brazil, actually. So, we knew his connection to Ayrton Senna and this track as well. He loves racing there, and every single time when he is there, he's delivering great results. And well, he had dominated car this year, so he's done amazing job back then, overtaking on every single point of the track. There was no corner that he was not trying to pass someone.
Trying to move, yeah, no, 100%. I look back on that, and I think back on that race, and I do think one of the best bits of driving that I've seen. I mean, there was a few that could have made my call, but that's the one
Absolutely, I agree.
Just on funny, very quickly back to funny. I think we spoke about this. I don't know if we spoke about it on the show last week or we spoke about it somewhere else, but about the Leclerc radio messages.
Yes.
And the water and is it wet? That's got to be one of the times I've probably looked at the TV and actually bellowed and laughed out loud because it genuinely was so funny when I heard that.
Yeah. When it comes to the radios, I would say the funniest, and actually this race and those quotes made me fall in love in this driver. I'm talking about Kimi Räikkönen. His Abu Dhabi 2012 race when he was out of nowhere leading the race. And he's speaking with his driver. Yes. I'm doing it all the time. When he was asked to keep on working on all 4 tires. It was absolutely phenomenal. He knows what he's doing. Just leave him alone. And he delivered the fantastic results. But yeah, since then, when you look at Kimi, he was like a completely different star in Formula One. Even though he got World Championship with Ferrari in 2007. But I think since he's come back in Lotus in 2012, he actually made his legacy bigger than the championship itself.
100%. Kimi as a driver is iconic, if anything, more than anything. So yeah,
he's still the last Ferrari champion.
Yeah,
that says
maybe
something.
For a long time. Yeah, might be for a long time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kimi's probably the king of radio messages. I think Alonso's up there as well, to be fair. He's got a few bangers over the years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When he was complaining in 2014 and 15 at his Honda engine GP2, when he was obviously he said it actually in Suzuka, and I believe Honda put massive penalties on the team back then because he obviously on the radio on open public he disregarded the work that Honda was putting in. It was in Suzuka in Japan as well, and Honda was not happy at all.
No.
Probably that's why Honda moved away from McLaren later in the years.
Yeah, I can see Alonso, especially in his earlier years when he was more Kimi-ish. Because Alonso was very Kimi-ish, and I think over the last like 3 to 5 years, he started to like soften. I don't know what it is about him. He's starting to like soften into like a nice Uncle Alonso, as opposed to Mr. Alonso, you know. But
Yeah. But he's an icon, you know. You cannot have another Fernando, you cannot have another Kimi, you cannot have another Lewis, but there are drivers, maybe I will be a bit controversial, but there are drivers that they are, they won't be remembered, even though, you know, not because of the sporting perspective, but because, you know, they don't have that much of charisma and personality as other drivers do.
Yeah, it comes as a package, doesn't it? You've got to have the character, like you say, personality, charisma, as well as the speed to be remembered and have a legacy. You know, if, when you look at Lewis, obviously one of the greatest, there's so many different things you could look at, from even down to like, you know, his dress sense in the paddock, to his actual sporting achievements, to what he's done off the track. There's so many things that you can kind of look back and say, this is what you can define as Lewis Hamilton. Whereas obviously there's a lot of drivers that you can't, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame when you think about it, because at one point you were one of 20 best drivers in the world. So
absolutely. The problem is that if you're one of the 20 drivers in the world and you not get the championship, you'll be forgotten in 2-3 years. If you leave Formula One, obviously. Look at Daniel Ricciardo. He won only 8 or 9 races, but because of his personality, how he was perceived by other people, and what he was doing off the track as well, he was complete legend of the sport, of Formula One. Even that he moved away from him personally racing, he still do a lot good when it comes to the motorsport world. A couple of days ago, he announced that he will be picking him personally, couple of people from Daniel Ricciardo series, which is karting series in the United Kingdom, for his scholarship from the kids that they are already there. So that's really nice. You know, he didn't have to do it because you know, he can just mark the series of his own name and just cut the coupons out every single month. But he's actually giving back to the community a lot, and he's showing people that even if you're not the best machinery, even if you are not the best driver, because he wasn't the best in the beginning, you have to try and do what you love. Basically, you need to find a way to live and have happy life that he definitely has.
For sure, it's all about the work-life balance, isn't it? 100%.
I've seen a funny quote actually about this, about the hobbies and what we're doing in life, which says, POV, you are attracted to hobbies where if you make mistake, you die. Fact. Fair enough. Accurate. Very accurate. In regards to hobbies that you take up, and if you make a mistake, you would die. Moving on from one to the other, Formula E. Yeah.
Facts and roundup. 3rd week in a row we're talking about this, and this week I have come semi-prepared. I'm not going to say prepared. Semi-prepared. Come prepared. Okay. There were a few things that I'm still getting to grips with. I've made some notes. There's a few things that I wasn't too sure on, but a few things that I'd never heard of before that I found out. So I'm going to reel some of them off, and you can let me know if you know about them as well. So, first of all, I think I've heard of this in the past, but I completely forgot. It's the only completely net zero carbon emission racing series.
That could be a thing. Well, they're not emitting any carbon when it comes to the racing itself. But they must be neutralizing it some kind of logistics, because I'm assuming they're using trucks, planes, etc. So they must be neutralizing it somehow. Well, Formula E want to go to net zero by 2030. Let's see how they will. Yeah, Formula One. Sorry, by 2030. So let's see how they will manage to do it. But I'm really pleased to see that Formula E is able to deliver net zero, competition on the highest level.
Yeah, and I think it gives people or organizations like F1 a bit of a roadmap, to see that it can be done. Obviously, we're going to the hybrid engines as well, and obviously that's all part of that in terms of reducing the emissions. So it definitely can be done. But yeah, that was number one. There used to be something, so apparently they don't do this anymore, right? But apparently there was something called fan boost. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
Yes.
So
I think it was the most ridiculous thing that every motorsport has ever seen.
So this, for those who don't know, this is where fans used to vote for their favorite drivers, and it used to give that driver more power on the track.
Yeah, and not all the time. I think it was only short distance, but still massive advantage. Can you imagine in Formula One if someone will get, instead of 3 seconds of ERS all around the track? Well, next year we'll have about 50% of this. But imagine if someone will have 30 horsepower more than everyone else. They will leave them behind by the 10th lap.
Yeah. So that was one that got me, that I didn't know about that, but that was interesting. The other one that I saw, which was interesting, was attack mode.
Okay.
So attack mode. So attack mode, I think we touched on this before. So drivers must drive off the racing line to activate extra power for a few minutes.
Okay.
So apparently there's a part of the track where they would drive and it gives them extra boost and power, but obviously it takes them longer to get around that part of the track than the normal one. So you have to time it. It's a very, obviously Formula One's very strategic, but in that sense of energy usage and preservation, it's very, very strategic.
Yeah.
Attack mode. What do you think something like that could work in something like F1?
So the difference, they do it because the first generation of Formula E cars, they were actually not able to finish the race. So in a halfway, they were going to pit stop and jumping from one car to another and then continuing the race. That was funny too. But it's obviously adding some kind of strategic layer into the racing because I'm assuming it's up to the driver and the team when and how they will use this attack mode. Well,
that's it.
Imagine that you have 2 or 3 cars that are very close to each other and you can get into the points. So if you still have attack mode available, let's do it. You'll quickly catch them and you will pass them very quickly as well.
That's it. I think it's, like I say, that strategic, or strategy is the word. I do believe that it's a very good series. And I can see why so many people like it and why it's such a growing sport. I do think that it's a little bit complicated to get your head around.
There's a lot of artificial things that they have to be created, because otherwise we'll have a procession every single lap and every single race. So I understand why they're doing it from the sporting perspective to elevate the spectacle of the race itself. But I can't totally agree. When I mentioned last week, it was confusing to watch because, even if you switch on Formula instead of Formula One, you watch, I don't know, BTCC, or you watch Formula 4 or any other racing, the rules are very similar. Maybe there are some nuances that they are differentiating the series from each other. But Formula E, I would say it's completely different level because there's so many artificial things. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying they had to be made by human to make the racing more interesting for spectators.
Yeah, 100%. You can see that. I think it's because it's not an original sport as such, as in something that's been around for hundreds of years. Yeah. You've got to do something to grab audience's attention these days, because if they're already watching F1, BTCC, all the rest of it, like say your F4s or your other stuff, your single seaters, double seaters, that stuff, you need something that's going to grab the attention of the next fan or the next generation of fans. Yeah. So very well done. I think it's really good. I think I'm probably more happy about F1 Academy than Formula E, to be honest. Yeah. I think I just prefer it. And maybe it's just because it's more, I don't like change. Maybe it's just it's similar to the F1 and stuff like that. It makes a bit more sense. But overall, very good. I'm going to keep digging in and doing my research. I'm going to watch a few more races and find out some more bits and bobs that I can bring back, some nuances for the guys, for the listeners. But yeah, that was a Formula E chat for the third week in a row.
Fantastic. Let's see how long we can carry it, and we'll see if we'll be masters by the end of the next season.
That's it. Maybe we should do like a segment. So maybe we should do like a segment where we talk about a racing series that we don't know that much about, and we just every week we'll just bring some facts. So let's look into doing that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, let's see. But we will think about what you can bring one series, I can bring another, or we can discuss what we're bringing together, and we can decide what you're gonna say about it.
Go from there. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, other than that, there isn't much more to it. We had our Christmas party not too long ago, a week or so ago. Really good, really enjoyable. Tell everyone where we went and what we did.
Yeah, we've met with Mick, who is working at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. It's not very far when we are based, somewhere down south, and we had a lot of fun. We were racing with each other. Well, maybe I will not be delivering the news because some drivers might get upset that I was quicker than some of them. So yeah, Clay. Yeah, but yeah, it was really fun. We had great competition. Andrew and Tim joined us as well from Team AOR, who was at our 24-hour race. And there was one more person that we not tell you yet who was that, but you will find out very soon.
Secret mystery person at the Christmas party, and it wasn't Santa. That's the only clue I can give you. It wasn't Santa.
That wasn't Santa.
You'll be just as excited to know who it is when you find out who it is as Santa.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be sharing more information after New Year's, so stay tuned.
Sure. Okay, guys. Well, that's it from us this week. Big thank you for everyone who has listened to us this year. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a fantastic New Year. And yeah, we hope to keep on going.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening to us because it's 5th episode. We already have some dedicated listeners. We really appreciate what you're doing for us. Please give us a follow, share this podcast if you find it funny. But if you don't find it funny, share it as well. So yeah, we really appreciate what you're doing for us. And yeah, have fantastic Christmas. Rich Santa Claus that will bring you lots of presents. And we're really hoping to see you next year.